presents Could Be You TV.
I just want to say I support that.
Thank
Keep
you.
hustling, keep working, keep doing what you're doing. I support that in any way, shape, or form. You know,
Well, I'm the Naked Cowboy. It could be you, TV. I'm the Naked Cowboy. Look at my boobies.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Or hers.
Hola, mi gente. Yes, once again, we're back here where I love to be. My little home away from home. Thank you for joining Linda Lynn Presents Could Be You TV. And I have this handsome special co-host, EL Discipline. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We have such a amazing show.
Interesting.
We have a lot of content for those of you who are tuning in right now. A lot of activity going on. You're probably wondering, oh yes, this is going to be a really
Extremely,
spicy,
extremely informative.
informative. Y'all hear that? Informative. For all my Instagram people, please go on Facebook and follow Strong Island TV, Could Be You TV, so you can see the show in its entirety. And once again, thank you for joining us. A lot of things going on. A lot of things, but the first thing I want to do is I want to give a special birthday shout out to my niece, Sophia. Oh, do we have a picture of my little niece there? For her birthday. There she goes.
Oh.
That's my niece. It was her birthday. And also first day of school, first grade. There you go, Sophia. Titi loves you.
Sophia.
Yeah. Beautiful. And so tell me, what's been going
It's
on?
interesting you say Sophia
Why?
is your niece, because Sophia is one of the characters in these prequel sequel.
So we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. We have a lot to talk
We have a
about
lot
with
to
him
talk
right here.
about.
So we're definitely going to be getting with you to, with your stuff in a little while, because you know what? This all looks very intriguing, very fascinating. I'm like, ooh,
All different genres.
All different genres. You hear that? And everyone who is on Facebook right now, please share the link. The more we share, the more views. And you know what I say, sharing is caring. So, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. What about you?
Yeah. Oh my God. So as y'all see, I'm trying to, look smart here, and I'm trying to feel intellectual. Unfortunately, these are my reading glasses, so I really can't see my peeps. But I had a fascinating weekend. I had a wonderful weekend. I got to participate and be part of Fashion Week,
Okay.
where I was part of the media, and the show Could Be You TV was part of the media as some exclusive, really, events, designers, the activity. I was so honored to be part of this. My show Could Be You TV as part of the media was fascinating. It was an honor.
Everything is
to be part
about
of
branding. You know what I mean? Like marketing, getting yourself out there.
this. Yeah, absolutely.
No matter how you gotta do it.
And I love it. I mean, what isn't that not to love about Fashion Week and being but I do have a clip to show. That way I can give everybody a little taste of what I went through and the excitement. So we can roll that video.
the money he got from his chores. He robbed the candy shop, told her lay down on the floor, put the cookies in the bag, pennies out the drawer. They all got most of all, we are all God, show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down.
How fascinating was that?
That was beautiful.
How awesome was that
It's-
video, that fashion show?
Especially that that one specific.
The highlight of it
Yeah.
was all the supermodels were amazing. The fashion designs, the choreography of everything, the music, it was exceptional. It was beautiful, well put together. But the highlight, one of the best highlights, was that you saw was a model, a supermodel with Down syndrome. The one that you saw in the picture. That to me is the most unbelievable, fascinating, experience to see how happy and how not only how happy she was, but also how happy everybody else was to see. You're breaking the barriers. You're actually, and so I was glad to be able to meet all them. But speaking also, this happened to be a very like an epic event because as well I have I must have missed it. I must have gone to the bathroom or something. But you had a 9-year-old supermodel amputee as well. Do we have a picture of her? Oh, it'll be there. Yeah, amazing. Look at her.
Ooh.
This 9-year-old. And I believe I have a video for that too. Do we have a video?
New York Fashion Week is underway, and a 9-year-old with dreams of becoming a supermodel is already making historic strides. This is Daisy Mae Dimitri strutting her stuff yesterday. She is the first child double amputee to walk in a show at New York Fashion Week. Our national correspondent Jerika Duncan spoke with her. Jerika, Daisy Mae's story is really inspiring.
Yeah, she's very inspiring, very beautiful girl, both inside and out. And in many ways, she's just like any other 5th grader. She's in school. She says she prefers English over math. She loves gymnastics and doing cartwheels, but it's her moves on the runway that exude the most confidence. You were awesome going down that runway. How does it feel?
I feel proud of myself.
Daisy Mae Dimitri was a natural at New York Fashion Week. Dimitri was born in Birmingham, England, with a rare condition that required both of her legs to be amputated. But that hasn't stopped her. Here she is strutting her stuff earlier this year at London Kids Fashion Week, where she even broke out a cartwheel.
Daisy's a special, unique child, and doing stuff all the doctors told me would never really be possible.
Daisy Mae's father, Alex, says his daughter's blossoming modeling career came seemingly by chance.
It just so happened on the TV, pops up a disabled modeling agency, so I put the idea to her. So
what did you say to her?
Do you want to be a supermodel?
And what did you say?
Yes.
We had an instant connection.
Designer Eniku Hegedish-Biron took notice. Daisy Mae is now a brand ambassador for her Lulu at Gigi clothing line.
I want people to see that beauty is not one-sided. It's a multifaceted thing.
What advice do you have to children like yourself?
just never give up and just do what you can do.
Daisy May will represent Lulu as Gigi again later this month. This time at Paris Fashion Week, she will model at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
I like her. How fascinating was that? Was that
beautiful.
incredible or what?
That's beautiful. One thing I took from that is when she's like, you know, whatever you want to do it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like it's like what I always say, right? Like you can't ever dream too big. You know what I mean? And don't let anybody try to tell you what you can't be. You know, putting their own, you know, insufficiencies and inadequacy, you know, on you.
Well, as you see, it seems to be something that I think they're coming out of their shells. They're trying to break that stigma of what they feel you have to be as a supermodel. You know, I think that's back in the old days. I think a supermodel is just a model that's representing something, you know, that whatever's given, whatever clothes you wear, you know, it doesn't specifically mean you have to be 95 pounds, you know, and look a certain, you know, it's just how you're portraying. And I think it's all different. You know, we see them all changing sizes now. And it's nice to see that.
Yeah, it's like energy, it's confidence.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is. It's, you know, I'm so happy. I'm just so happy that, and this was all part, and I have to give a shout out. I'm going to give a special shout out to my friend Armando for setting this up and having a great time. Mr. Funny Guy, I call him. But also this fashion show was from the Angel Oranza Foundation, which is an amazing foundation, as you see. We had them both, and they're doing amazing. And I had a wonderful time. So that was my weekend there. But
yeah, I mean, I didn't really do too much. Like my weekend was great, but maybe to like the vanilla regular world, they would think it was boring. I mean, I worked. I went to Barnes and Nobles to touch up on the 7th book, the trilogy, to Stuck Between Two Different Worlds.
That's right. We're gonna be hearing about this pretty soon.
I went to the gym. Yeah, I made, you know, like I stayed up late Friday to Saturday morning from 2 a.m. working on it, and I woke up, made myself breakfast, went to the gym. After the gym, work on the book.
But did you enjoy it doing that?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's
so
what
that
I'm
was
saying.
right.
Like, to some people, it's, you know,
that's
regular.
your deal.
To me, it's like I had a great weekend.
Right. Well, there you go. Speaking,
you know what I mean?
Well, that is who you are, and that's what makes you. And who cares about who they're boring, right? So we have this segment called "Oh My God, What Now?"
Okay.
So what happens is, you know, what now? There's always something trending that's like, oh my God, like. Either some of it can be negative, positive, stupid. Okay, what now? So we created this little segment called "Oh My God, What Now?" So we're gonna go with our first what now is so do we have the one the pro? There we go. So this guy, he's getting a lot of backlash, as you see, because he supports Trump. And, you know, they're giving him, you know, hard time about it, I guess, because, you know, he's African American. And I guess they assume, I guess, that you shouldn't be a supporter because of it.
I mean, I think it's because of what Donald Trump stands for or doesn't stand for. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
absolutely.
He blatantly, like, came out and said he was like racist indirectly.
Right, but
you know
apparently to him, he doesn't feel that way, and so his friends would give him a hard time about it. So instead of him being, you know, discreet about it, he's like, you know what?
He's just gonna.
I'm just gonna go, not only show you, but I'm gonna go bigger. So now he went, he got the biggest MAGA hat there was, and you know, so that was, so it's like,
I mean, good for him. You know what I mean? Like. Support who you want to support.
Exactly. Well, you know? Exactly. So who are we to say, you know, because you are, you know, of different race that you shouldn't be a supporter? I mean, not too many, I don't think, but to each his own, right?
I'm not a fan, but, you know, to each their own.
Hey, listen, you know, I don't think he has a great, you know, fan record, but anyway. But moving on to the next one, we have this engagement ring. You know, so with this engagement ring, let's see if we can have a picture of this engagement ring where everybody's talking and kind of like making fun of it, I guess, because it's a simple, I don't know, different. So some are saying it looks the same ring made out of paper clips when I was 5, or those it looks like the little things from the iPhone where you put in your memory card or the SIM
Oh,
card.
like an SD?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but who would say that? Why? Here is this happy person was content with whatever ring was given to her. Maybe there's a meaning behind it.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
like it's the meaning to those two individuals. You know what I mean? You don't know the dynamic of the relationship.
But
like,
that's what I'm saying.
you know what I mean? Like it has significant meaning for them, but we look on the outside looking in like, oh, you know what I mean? And I mean, 70% of women out there who are married don't really love their husbands. You know, they just want to be married. So sometimes,
I guess it's something we're gonna have to get into talking, huh?
It's sometimes it's kind of like they judge a man based off the size of the ring.
You know what? We will get into that because there's a lot
And I
of
said
truth to that.
most women, I'm not all of them.
No, of course, no, definitely, no. But to that I say, you see, like I always say with social media, social media is supposed to be the way I see it, and I always say this is a platform for networking, for sharing things, uplifting, positive,
Business, entertainment, like
right. So now that you have this person so happy to share her engagement ring, and you have these dodos writing these negativity, like so stupid, like so that's we got to call them out, whoever they were, you dumbasses. But
you know what? At the end of the day, like it's also like sometimes it's like pressure. Like if you have like a group of girlfriends,
right.
They're like, oh girl, let me see what he got you. Like let me see how big it is. Like
well, obviously she really didn't care,
exactly.
And she's so happy to show off whatever the meaning was.
Yeah.
So why does it have to be, how the clarity and the number and the decibel of
it's a norm and
yeah, like
what society has to offer.
I'll take one of those ring pops, sucking that all day. I'll be good. But so going to our next one is our Michael Jordan. Apparently he donated and pledged $1 million for the hurricane relief in the Bahamas, which is amazing. We'll give him a hand for that. The devastation that has happened, it's unreal, and it's just like, I guess, deja vu again, because my island of Puerto Rico, as you know, not too long ago, was also hit with Maria. Yeah. So that itself was devastation to, as it is, and then to have your neighbor, your family basically to go through the devastation itself, it's unreal, it's unbelievable, and our hearts go out to all, the family and the victims and all that. But you know what? Michael Jordan, Allah should follow in your footsteps. So let's get to it. More donations are needed. So that's for that. But you know what? Since we're on that note, I'm gonna take a quick second to just put out there. Tomorrow is September 11th. Mm-hmm. It marks the 18th year of
9/11.
The most devastating thing that could ever happen to us, here. Not only in America, but being a New Yorker, born and raised in Brooklyn, it's like I don't know any other than, and it hits a little bit closer to home because so my husband was one of the first responders, mm-hmm. and unfortunately we did lose some friends and his his partners in the process of it all. It hits home, and tomorrow will be a very somber day for a lot, especially home. And I just want to give hubby a big shout out, tell him that I love him very much and I am very proud of him. And hopefully, things will never get easy. We're all together in this, So, but we are definitely gonna go into a quick commercial because I ain't dying to know what's going on here.
It's my turn now?
It's definitely your turn. It's all your turn. So we're gonna go to a quick commercial, and when we come back, we're gonna sit and chit chat and know all about EL discipline.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Me llaman Dan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica, un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
I am not going to say a word. I'm going to leave it all to you because, so tell me, I want you to describe and who you are to our audience who are wondering what is going on. Please, it's all about you now.
Well, first of all, it's my turn now?
It's all about you. All about you.
First and foremost, I want to thank you for inviting me to the show.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
It's exhilarating. It's invigorating to be here. You know, there's so much things I want to get into. I don't know if we have enough time, because I could talk for like 2 hours straight.
So can I. Trust me, my show is not long enough for me to talk because I'll continue to talk.
But just to brief the audience first and foremost on who I am, I go by alias E.L. Discipline. I'm the author of not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 books in a year and a half.
Wow.
You know, so I consider myself the disruptor of the status quo, the most unheralded, the beast incarnate, chocolate in human form.
Ooh, child.
Today I came dressed as Clark Kent,
I thought
but
it
I'm
was
born
hot
Superman.
because of the lights. Help me, hallelujah. Okay.
You know what I mean? So the things that I've accomplished is unprecedented, and like what I want to do now is like I want to give back. You know what I mean? So this is like just a fragment of me giving back.
Right. But you know what? I kind of snuck a little bit, and I'm looking at some stuff, and I just want to know exactly, you know. Yeah, like what exactly do you have a specific you know,
genre?
Yes, or is it all different?
They're all different genres.
Okay.
The Seduction of Discipline, the first book, autobiography. It is, as you see the cover, it reminds you of 50 Shades of Grey.
Do we have one of those pictures up? Yeah, let's see what we have. Look at that.
But the thing with this is, 50 Shades is not BDSM. And this is like an autobiography. I said, embodying my lifestyle as a real dominant in this BDSM lifestyle. Now, like I said, I don't want people to get misconstrued as 50 Shades of Grey, but 50 Shades of Grey is not BDSM. So if you, like when you purchase this book, you're going to get the education that the film or the books don't.
So for those who don't know what that stands for, what does that stand for?
Oh, BDSM, there's so much to get into it. It's an acronym for bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, sadism, masochism. Oh, all engage in different things.
Interesting.
They all engage in different things. They're all different forms of submission, psychological, physical. There's all different forms of dominance. So this book gives you the education. I have a few stories in there, like fiction, but it gives you the education on the real, like, adequate form of BDSM. In my opinion, the truest form of unity between man and woman.
So is it safe to say that so this is kind of like based on your experiences, or are you educating on
based on my experiences? On
your experiences.
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you want to do this? What made you want to, like,
create that book?
Yeah.
Well, that movie, like I mentioned prior, 50 Shades. You know,
you're like, that's not the way it goes. Let me tell you how it really goes. Let me tell you something.
Shout out to E.L. James. She's the writer of 50 Shades of Grey. Shout out to her. But this, you get a perspective of someone who really living this experience. Some people have a vivid imagination. I have a vivid imagination as well, but you know, living the life, engaging in it 24/7 is different. And coming from a male's perspective too, there's not plenty of males out there who write erotica. Like I consider myself the a king of urban erotica.
Ooh.
Shout out to Zane.
I got a king right here next to me.
Shout out to Zane though. Zane, Christina Roberts. Shout out to her, cause prior to all 50 Shades of Grey and all that, she's the one she was the master of erotica. You know what I mean? And she's a beautiful African American woman who doesn't really get the recognition she should. But, you know, like I said, when 50 Shades came out, it's so mainstream, they had great marketing and promotional teams. So it's like you witness something more than something else and you start to believe it.
So let me ask you, do you get questioned a lot?
A lot.
Like,
Fans,
how do you, like how is the feedback? On, you know, do you get both, you know, negative and positive?
Negative and positive, yes.
Negative and positive.
Negative and positive, especially from like the alpha females.
The alpha females.
The alpha females who are, you know, they have bratty tendencies. You know, I get backlash.
We all have some bratty tendencies in us.
I get
What do you think?
I get backlash from them. You know,
bratty tendencies.
But it's so much to get into. Like we don't have enough time. You know, people have to get that book. They could go on iTunes, Google Play, start reading the electronic version, put in The Seduction of Discipline. You can start reading it as we.
This is more like a who reads more of the books? Is it more?
What gender?
Yes.
Women.
The women would.
Women.
So you think the guys would pick up also to see what exactly is that they're, you know?
Yes, they would. The smart ones, the alpha males, the ones who are ambitious and want to get whatever they could get their hands on to learn and, you know, be better. Those alpha males, they'll definitely.
So this is more like a relationship. You think this is like a relationship book, like how to mend them better, how to make them connect better.
Definitely, definitely. Like I have different chapters. If you open it up.
There's a lot of chapters in here. Oh my
35
God.
35 chapters. I have chapter 2, what to expect from a king. Hey, that's inappropriate.
Well, everybody's gonna have to get this book to see what's in here.
But I have chapter 2, what to expect from a king. Chapter 3, substandards. I believe every woman is submissive to an extent.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Whether it's solely in the bedroom, 24/7, psychological subs. Like psychological subs is equate to sapiosexuals. And people out there who are unfamiliar with what sapiosexuals are, they're individuals who are aroused by intelligence. So, you know, in that 3rd chapter, you're getting the different women, you're getting the different levels of submission, and you're getting the different submissives. You know, it's education. You know, I have chapter 4, damage, chapter 5, the life of a dominant, where it's a differentiate between alpha males and beta males.
We'll be reading this together, okay?
Alpha males and beta males. You know what I mean? So there's plenty of education in there. It's not solely erotica.
Right. Okay. So so it's more like on the you know.
It's education. It's autobiography.
From your experiences. Okay.
It's relationships. You could say it's spiritual also as well.
So
you know,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Which is bringing me back to the 2nd book.
That's what I was going to ask.
The importance of discipline.
Okay.
There's chapters in that as well. That has nothing to do with erotica at all. That's actually a book. When I have children one day, I want them to read first, prior to them, you know, being old enough to read the others.
Okay.
You know,
so what is this? What is the objective of this book?
The importance of discipline is it's a self-help, inspirational, motivational book that, you know, it gives you the blueprint to how to do what you need to do on a day-to-day basis. Like you could utilize certain things in there, like confidence. I have dominance. I have on chapter 1 patience. I have chapter 2 thoughts. Good thoughts can never be a result of poor performance or, you know, poor results.
I think this book would be good if my son is watching. Gianni, you're into this? We're gonna have to get you a copy. He loves to read
the importance of discipline is it's a life coach's book. It's a pastor or reverend of a church's book. You know what I mean? Like my parents are reverends.
Okay.
You know, I mean, they weren't always reverends, but they're newly reverends, and they love that book out of all of them. Like my father read like three of my books. My
Okay.
mother, it took her 2 years to finally read the one. She's Dominican, so she's like,
Are you?
Dios
Oh, so
mío, like,
you're half Hispanic.
yeah,
Okay.
and Haitian too.
And
So I got
okay.
fed. Shout out to my Haitians. Nula. So like I finally got her to read it after 2 years. Like the book
Okay.
came out in 2017.
Did she
and at
make
first,
any comments?
she was like,
Or she was just like-
she actually was like, more people should read your book. Because the way you talk about it in the first book, like she was like, I'm not done because I went to go see her earlier today, and she's like, the things you talk about with like how a woman should treat her husband and vice versa.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like more people should get your book. And she was telling me like she actually has a like I have like a secret admirer. And I was like, yo, mommy, like her friends. Like she's in a salon talking to him about it, and she's like, oh, this so and so. Not gonna mention the woman's name, but she's like, oh, she has she like a secret admirer of you. She loves your books. I'm like, what? She's reading my books? Okay.
Well, that's awesome. But let me ask you something. Do you have people who maybe say things like,
Backlash.
what makes you think that you know it all, or who are you? Do you have a degree in
Definitely.
some kind of like who are you
Definitely.
to say these things, and why should we believe you? Or what makes
Nobody's
what I'm saying?
asked that question before. That's good. The thing is, one, I've been engaged in this lifestyle of BDSM for 11 years.
Okay.
Two, I'm a student of the game. So being a student of the game, like I want to learn everything and anything I could get my hands on. And one of the things I find very intriguing is this innate understanding of like the human mind and soul. You know what I mean? Like being that these are the things I implement in my life for strengthening the major components for a human being, mind, body, and soul.
Okay.
I work out, I read, I meditate, I inhale life. So it's like doing all these things, it allows me to be able, people may think this is crazy, talk to the universe.
Oh, that is not crazy. 'Cause I think we all do that, and I do that at some level.
And vice versa. So it's like all these things, like how do I know it? Perhaps I pay attention to things you don't.
Right.
Perhaps things that fly over your head I pick up on. So I read a person's body language. I read a person's habitual behaviors, like their idiosyncrasies. Like I studied that through my entire life. I'm 32 right now, but I've had this, you could call it a gift. Like if people believe like a higher power like God, it's like a God-given talent.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I should have been writing books a long time ago.
So when did you know that you had this gift? When did you know that this is what you wanted to do? And when did you started to be very creative with wanting to write the books and start to be expressive about, the thing that you're knowledgeable about? Like when did you?
2015 is when I started writing books, and I utilized social media as the outlet.
Okay.
The women went ridiculous for it. Ridiculous. They were tagging their husbands, boyfriends, posts, captions. I had like 10 people already like, you're giving things away for free. You should, write books already. And at first I didn't listen because I was still testing it out. I didn't understand what type of genre I wanted for my book.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's different genres out there. I didn't know how to go about doing a book. I never went to like writing school and things like that.
Right.
People go
It
to
comes
film school.
From the heart,
Yeah.
and what your passion is. You have a passion, so you're speaking from the heart, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
100%. One of my favorite chapters in The Importance of Discipline is chapter 14, Why Black Lives Matter. Now it's completely isolated from all the other chapters.
Okay.
Because like if you look at the chapters like 15, accountability, you know what I mean? Chapter 8, love conquers. You know what I mean? Like it's completely isolated, but I wanted to implement that into literary content because I felt like everything originated from black. You know what I mean? And there are certain things that's like pushed under the rug or not being talked about more.
Okay.
Like racism, you know what I mean? So I've implemented that all in this book. I talk about the ancient Egyptians, you know what I mean? So there's certain things that, you know, I felt like in society is just, you know, pushed under the rug. And, you know, I touch base on everything, you know, blacks with inventions. You know, you got to read that, The Importance of Discipline, that specific chapter.
This looks like a book that everybody must pick up, The Importance of Discipline. Which is our next book that we have?
The next one is Discipline's
Are
World.
these in order as well? Is this
Yes,
the first one that you came out with?
first one, second one. This is the third one. This is actually my first novel.
Okay.
Discipline's World. Now, the way I created Discipline's World is it's the seduction of discipline. I remember I told you there's like a few
Wait, I have to
stories.
Say this. What daddy wants, daddy gets. Is that good? Is that good? What daddy wants.
You nailed it.
This is awesome. I love it. So, what was Discipline's World? Okay. So
yeah. So, in the seduction of discipline, I said prior that there were a few stories. So I've taken those characters and I created a novel. It's like it's a BDSM erotica novel. So it was actually my first real story book.
Wow, this is really like fascinating to hear someone locally that's not, you know, usually
I'm from Flatbush. I'm from Flatbush, Brooklyn, but
Brooklyn's in the house,
I reside in Long Island.
Right. So, you know, and you're young, and so you're bringing out more or less like the urban side of this, you know, like trying to.
You could
see 50 Shades
you could
of Grey,
call
you know,
this the black answer to 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, there you go.
You know what I mean? You could call that, but you know, like I said, that thing is completely different from BDSM.
Okay.
You know, like BDSM is not associated with inadequate development. You know, you can't coerce somebody into being in this lifestyle. Right. It's a choice that they make. You know, so it's not like, you know, you can meet a woman in a bar, it's like, oh, I'm submissive. That doesn't give you the goal to be like, oh, you like being pulled,
right,
you like doing, you know what I mean? It's all about.
So if you meet
okay, go finish your
sentence. No. I'm just curious, like you said, if someone was to meet someone, how do you like?
I like that you asked that, because the thing with me is, remember prior when I was introducing myself, I said I came here dressed as Clark Kent, but I'm born as Superman. So the thing is, Clark Kent doesn't go around Metropolis telling everybody he's Superman.
Okay.
So me, I'm like I value secrecy and privacy, and I feel like that's one of the things that I've changed up a lot, because back then when I first started talking about this, like I brought my toys and things like that, and I'm like, that's private.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, this lifestyle is private as well. I'm not going out there meeting a girl in the club and saying, hi, I'm EL Discipline, I'm this and that. They actually know my government name.
Okay,
I actually tell them my government name, because I feel like if I'm physically seeing you, you're already moving that step to somebody that's not.
Okay.
So people that don't know me, they're going to get the alias until, like, you know, I feel like you've earned that right to know that government and that inside of me and more.
How would you
when
know
I
if
meet
they get
someone,
that right or not?
when I meet someone, but here's the thing, that's because of me, because I know my worth. That's why. Like if I meet somebody in like, let's say a venue, let's say Barnes and Nobles or something like that, not even like a venue, like a nightclub. I meet a woman, you know, I introduce myself, I like her. I'm not walking up there like, hi, I'm a dominant and I'm gonna dominate you and you're gonna do what I want you to do. It doesn't work like that.
Damn right, don't.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, women choose. They choose to engage with men in whatever capacity it is.
No, you're right. But my question is, what I was asking, so you meet somebody, you know, how do you know that they're the right person, that you're going to come out to see who you really are? How do you, what are the signs that you know, she might be?
I studied them. I kind of, like, I have like a personal test. You know what I mean? Myself.
Girls?
For it's like, you know, I like, look, girls will DM me all the time and I don't like to talk about it, but you know, just to give an example, oh, be my dom, be my daddy, be, you know what I mean, like right off the bat, like get to know me, get to know me as the man.
Stop using me for my body and for my
there's boundaries. There's boundaries, because when you give your trust to me, right? Like, I don't want to talk too much because I want to get to the books. But when you give your trust to me, you're giving me your all. You know what I mean? You're allowing each other access into psychological, physical, and emotional space. A space that transcends the parameters of what like a basic, traditional relationship has to offer. You know what I mean? So it's intense. It's more trust. It's more honesty. It's more loyalty. There's more communication. There's more intimacy. There's more aftercare.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
you sound like a woman's dream, like come true. Like I'm sure there's plenty of women out there. They're like, oh my God, he's like my dream boy.
The behavior, the lifestyle, 100%. But not.
But it's not for everyone.
It's not for everybody.
Right. It's not for everyone.
I think you're right. Like this is a woman's fantasy. I feel like, and you could interrupt me and say I'm wrong or whatever, and disagree with me, or agree to disagree. But I believe that there's a certain level of like ecstasy or something that turns a woman on to feel helpless, to kind of feel like dominated. And I don't just mean when I say dominated, I'm not just talking in a spectrum of physical.
Absolutely, I totally get it. I'm sure
psychological, emotional.
It always takes. I feel that not so I've been married a long time.
22 years.
I've been married for almost 23 years. I have a 19-year-old daughter and my son is 21. And a lot of people would say, oh my God, what is your secret? Well, how do you do that? I want to grow, when I grow up, I want to be like you guys. And I'm like, listen.
Have your relationship goals.
I can't, right, relationship goals. I'm like, oh my God, but what works for us doesn't necessarily going to work for you.
Exactly.
Like, this is why we're compatible and we do things at a different level that you might look at it and be like, no, but that's what works for us, I can't tell you what to do because it's not you.
And that goes for, I want to touch base on this too. That goes for like poly. Cause there's some poly out there, you know what I mean? And it's like some people look at it like, oh, like if that's something within them and it's agreed upon and they're doing whatever it is within them and they respect each other's boundaries and whatnot, like it doesn't matter what you have outside.
You think that also has to do with the way that you're being brought up, with what I don't want to say brainwashed into believing, but you are brought up a certain way that if you're not taught that way, how else would you know that way?
Exactly. And that's I'm glad you said that because that's what has many women like repressed desires about this. Like there's a lot of women out there. That's another reason why I came out with this book. There's a lot of women out there who have been they've given their trust to the wrong type of man, and or they have these secret desires, but they don't come out because they're afraid their significant other is, who I would call vanilla or regular, and they're like, well, he might resent me, he might call me a weirdo, he might call me crazy, he might, judge me, and that's like that non-comfort level, you know what I mean? So it's all about being comfortable, like being comfortable in your own skin, like developing yourself to grow with somebody else.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody that would pick up these books, you don't forget it. You're going to want to pick up the next one, the next one. So
this is horror. The Immortality of Discipline. So this is the sequel to Discipline's World.
So when they pick this up, they have to pick it up in order?
No.
Okay.
No, if you Google E.L. Discipline, like all my works will come up.
Okay.
And you could just
So it's not like if you pick up this one first and then that one, you're not going to miss out, not know what's going on.
Now here's the thing. That's a good question. Here's the thing. Most people want to be able to follow the story, how it's going. So But there's also women out there who may not be into BDSM or whatnot. So I would direct them to the Seduction of Discipline if they're into that lifestyle. If they want to know the
curious to know, a lot of people might not be into it, but maybe they're just like, I wonder what this is all about. And then you never know, it might lead them to a world I never thought they could ever enter,
Yes, and then you can purchase Discipline's World, which is a straight erotica from the first chapter to the, I think I have like 20 chapters in there. It's nonstop.
And that one is what is it called?
Intensity, Discipline's World. But this one is the Immortality Discipline. It's a horror, vampires, or something happens in here that transitions into this. You know, so now I went completely left and I said I'm gonna do something different.
Okay.
And I came up with Stuck Between Two Different Worlds.
All right.
So this is it's a drama thriller, you know, maybe like novella.
Una novela?
You know what I mean?
Soap opera.
So the thing with this book is I actually took this to Hollywood, Los Vegas. I'm sorry, Los Angeles. You know what I mean? So like when I went to Los Angeles, I spoke with Hollywood executives and Hollywood companies. I won't disclose who was there, but I received 4 requests. The agent and I, we were looking for 1, and I received 4. But like I sat down at 7 tables, 2 at a table. So I talked to 10, and I got 8 feedback. So 6 said independent film, and 2 said studio.
I think a lot of women can
Stuck
relate
Between
to this.
Two Different Worlds.
Yeah.
It's main character Dominic, who is in BDSM lifestyle. He's a master in the BDSM lifestyle. He has Estrella, who is his like submissive, and he has a regular wife, Sophia.
That's a regular wife. I'm sure there's a lot of those.
Like vanilla.
Right.
Sophia, like she's not in the into the BDSM world.
So he's a happy man.
You could say that. The thing is, it's a struggle because he doesn't know who he wants to be with.
Okay,
you know
so
what I
they
mean?
don't know about each other.
Estrella knows about Sophia, which is the submissive, but Sophia doesn't know about Estrella.
Because I was gonna say, if they knew, it was like, listen, girl, I'm not in the mood tonight. You take over, you know, and make him happy. You know when they say like happy wife, happy life, like you should. So I mean, that's something that can be worked out.
I mean, it could also be a submissive wife lives a happy life too.
I think that'll be number what? What number would that
7.
be? 7. And so this one is what?
Strong Bonds Never Break. It's the sequel to Stuck Between Two Different Worlds. So the twist, right? Aside from that master and slave relationship, Dom, even though him and Sophia are in a regular relationship, they have an ex-Bonnie and Clyde relationship.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I've taken 2 individuals who aren't off the books pharmaceutical suppliers. They're not celebrities. They're not talk show hosts. They're not athletes. You know what I mean? They didn't come from money or get fame that way. And, you know, they rise to wealth and power through their mind. Like blackmail and playing the human chess game better than everybody else.
Right.
So their rise to power, just to give a brief synopsis on that, Sophia's pregnant with Reina.
Oh my God, we're definitely gonna have to get these books because we need to get it.
And Dom wants to be a potential business partner with this guy. Spoiler alert, he's an Italian mobster.
Oh,
so
don't give away too much.
Well, you know, we gotta give him a little bit to get the book.
Entice them enough.
So Dom says, okay, that's the guy. We're in his venue. Let's go talk to him. They go to his office. And the man says, Dom, you're unique and you're talented, but I don't do business with N-words. No offense. Dom, he's like, no offense, to each their own. He's cerebral. Right. He's not the guy to react right away. He's like a general in an army. You know, he's going to think, if you don't own the venue, I'm going to find out who your landlord is or whatever. And, you know, now you're dealing with me or whatever.
Right.
Sophia, on the other hand, is different. She is a loose cannon. She's presumptuous. She's a hothead. She is, you know, just has a short temperature. You know what I mean? And I
know a lot of those.
Her Achilles heel is her emotions. Even though she's intelligent, very intelligent, she's hood. So she, just remember, she's pregnant. So she's getting emotions, and she rises up. She rises up and she pulls out a firearm that she didn't tell him about. And she puts it to the Italian mobster's temple and says, listen.
I see a movie out of this already. Like, I'm picturing that he's telling me a movie.
Yeah. And so she, I'm sorry, but she says, my husband may not be offended, but I'm offended. So this is how it's going to work. We want you to sign everything over to us, and we don't want no middlemen, especially Italian middlemen. Or the second option is I'll make you famous tomorrow. So You know, it's like when like we're thinking television series, film, but if I had my thing, because I want creative control, I would say television series as far as like revenue and things like that, like ratings. I pay attention to those things, so it could be lucrative. You know, so television series is what I want. If I saw a television series and I saw the opening, I would say subtitles 12 years prior. Then you see that scene, and then 12 years later, and then you see them, you know, engaging in the household.
Listen,
and it kind of is a mystery because these I'm sorry to cut you off, but these people are business owners separately and together. It's like when they got the enterprises, Dom had, you got to flip them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I utilize that Brain and Bronze, Bonnie and Clyde relationship.
Right.
Sophia, you know what I mean? Like,
let me tell you something. Just sitting here, we can like ramble on and talk for days, not an hour, 2 hours. I mean, there's a lot of, you know. But before, because, you know, we're getting about that time where,
we have to
you know,
wrap it up.
we have, you know, when you're having fun, too much
Oh,
fun.
too much fun.
Yeah.
Time flies
Time flies when you're having fun. But please let everyone know where exactly they can pick up the copies. What is your social media? You know, everything. Because people, honestly, men and women, gotta pick up one or all of these books.
As far as no disrespect, but as far as my social media, like, I don't care to give it out anymore. The thing that I want is my stuff there.
Okay.
So Google E.L Discipline.
Google.
And I think you'll find also the business page on Instagram and a whole bunch of stuff, my YouTube account. So you'll see all my works, all my books.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's really what
Yes, absolutely.
what I want.
Anywhere
Like
that they can find you and find your books. And you said what? They can order these. Where can they get these books?
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Booksamillion.com, A-Books, eBooks, Kindle, Google Play.
Just about everywhere.
Yeah, anywhere you could get books on every platform, retail outlet, you know.
Well, you already know, people. You already know.
Whether it's electronic or physical.
Yeah, right. But E.L Discipline, oh my God, it was such a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. It is amazing. You're very intriguing to hear speak about how passionate you are about you know, your creative writing or your books. I'm definitely gonna pick up. I'm not much of a reader, but I'm definitely gonna.
Oh, you read. You read.
This
You
will
drive?
definitely.
Do you drive?
I do drive.
So you didn't read a stop sign here?
I'll read the book.
Okay.
So thank you everyone for joining tonight. Please share the videos. Thank you. Los amos. I will see you next week. Same time, same place.
Saca fet.
Ya tú sabes. Wepa. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. Mwah.
My friend, you are just adorable.